Hi dear student, this is Sanal from Hilbodhi classes. Welcome to AS level CIE Physics 9702 series. Today we will start the first session. In this session, we are going to start with the very first topic, which is physical quantities and measurement. So what is a physical quantity? Physical quantity means a quantity which is measurable. You should be able to measure that quantity. Okay, for example, mass, you can measure it. Time, you can measure it. Length, you can measure it. So all these are physical quantities. Okay, force, if you take force, you can measure it, right? So some quantities are there which cannot be measured. For example, feelings, how happy, how sad you are, you cannot measure that. So in physics generally, physics is, you can say that the definition is actually the study of nature actually. So the natural phenomenon, so which is measurable. So that is the condition. The quantity should be measurable. Okay, there are two types of quantities are there: base quantities and the derived quantities. Some quantities are classified as base quantities. Base quantities means you can say length measured in meters, mass in kilogram, time in second. These three quantities were there in ancient physics. Okay, initially only these three quantities were there. So after that, later advancement of science and technology, whatever new branches of physics has been included. What is that? Electric current, thermodynamics has been included. So these three base quantities were not sufficient to define a lot of quantities. So after that, what happened? They added four. They means this is an association of scientists. Okay, so in this conference they decided we will add four more base quantities. Those are, first one, electric current. Electric current is measured in amperes. Then temperature measured in Kelvin. Amount of substance mole. And luminous intensity candela, CD. Okay, so in the conference they have decided we will use a standard unit for all these base quantities. Those standard units are meter, kilogram, second, ampere, Kelvin, mole, candela. You need to memorize this one, this base quantities and base units. Okay, questions may be there from this part. So length, mass, time were there initially. So these three quantities were there initially. After that, added four more because of the advancement of science and technology. These branches, you remember that electricity came. So electric current, ampere, thermodynamics, temperature in Kelvin, amount of substance, mole, luminous intensity, optics, study of light. Okay, luminous intensity, it gives the intensity of light. Okay, so that is candela. So these are the seven base quantities with SI units. That is, you need to memorize this one. So kilogram, second, ampere, Kelvin, mole, candela. So they will ask like, so which of the following is a base quantity? Which of the following is a base unit? Which is derived unit? So objective questions. So my MCQs you can get. Okay. So derived units. So derived units and derived quantities means all other quantities are derived from these seven base quantities. You understood? So check that. Okay, what you have learned. Velocity, if you check. Velocity is, what is the equation? Displacement by time. What is the unit of displacement? Displacement means length you are measuring, so base unit you will write it as meter, divided by time in seconds, so it will be meter per second will be the unit. This is a derived unit which is derived from where? The base quantity is base unit. Okay, so velocity is a derived quantity, meter per second is a derived unit. Got it? Velocity, if you take acceleration. What is acceleration? Change in velocity upon change in time. All these things you have learned in IGs, right? These equations. So velocity, already you have meter per second divided by time. So it will be meter per second square So this is the derived unit, meter to the power meter second to the power -2. Okay, then you can check another derived unit, force. If you take force, what is the equation? Mass times acceleration. So what is the derived unit for this one? If you check this, mass is measured in what? Kilogram, kg. Acceleration, you already derived this, meter per second square. One more example, if you take, you know that work is equal to force into displacement. So this will be, force is what? Kilogram meter per second square. It's already derived, multiplied by displacement. Displacement means what? Length. So m. This will be kg meter to the power 2 second to the power -2. Understood? So these are the derived unit. Now you have cleared with what is a base unit and quantity, what is a derived unit and derived quantity. Understood? So you can try these questions. You try to find out the derived units for first one, kinetic energy, potential energy, and third one, momentum. So you know the equation for kinetic energy is half mv square. Potential energy is mgh you take. Momentum, P is equal to mv. So you try to write the derived units for these quantities, kinetic energy, potential energy, and momentum, and comment your answers. Okay, so now you got an idea about what is a physical quantity, what are the base quantities and base unit, how to get or derive the the derived units from the base quantities. You understood, right? So now you check this one. What is a unit? What is a unit? A unit, if you try to define, you are not getting answer, right? You know thing, but you don't know how to explain it. So unit means it is a reference quantity to compare a physical quantity. What is that? It's a reference quantity. Reference quantity to compare a physical quantity. So this reference quantity means it's a reference standard. Standard reference. Reference standard. Okay, so I will explain you. With an example, you can remember this. What is a unit? So if I am giving you this pen, I am asking you to measure the length of the pen. What you will do? So first you will take is meter rule, and you can tell me that it's approximately 12 centimeter, right? So you are giving 12 centimeter. So centimeter is the unit. What is that? That means, okay, if I'm not giving any instrument, okay, if I'm asking you to measure the length of this board, okay, this screen, using this pen. So what you will do, you will start from one end, 1, 2, 3. So it's telling me that 3 times this pen. That means 3 times this length of this pen can be included in that physical quantity. What is that? Length of the screen. So you're comparing a base quantity with a physical quantity. That is called what? Measurement. And that base reference quantity is your unit. Understood? 10 times this pen can be included in this wall. So what is the physical quantity? The length of the wall, and pen is the reference standard. So pen is the unit. That means 6 times pen you are identifying. So 7 centimeter means what? 7 times you can include 1 centimeter in this physical quantity. If you are saying, okay, this is 7, after measuring you are saying that this is 7 centimeter long. What is the exact meaning of that one? So 7 times you can include 1 centimeter in this physical quantity. That process is called measurement. And the reference quantity, the reference standard you are using is called what? A unit. So a physical quantity, if you say a physical quantity is having 2 things. 7 is the magnitude and centimeter, that is the reference standard. So it is magnitude multiplied by unit. That is the representation. This is how you are representing every physical quantities. You know that force 10 Newton. If you are saying force is 10 means it's meaningless. It's number only, right? It is the magnitude. Unit should be there. So every physical quantities, the format, what is the, how you will represent that physical quantity? A numerical value, that is magnitude, multiplied by its reference standard unit. So if you are saying that a force is 10 Newton, actually 10 times Newton, 10 times 1 Newton you can include. Newton is your reference standard. So this is called what? Physical quantity. What is this? A numerical value called magnitude. And this part is your reference standard, which is called a unit. Understood? So if you are comparison of the reference standard with a physical quantity, what is that called? That is measurement. So physical quantities and measurement is the chapter. Now you know what is physical quantity. What are the types of physical quantities? Two types are there: base quantities and derived quantities. You know all the seven base quantities. Initially 3 were there. What are they? Length, mass, time. After that, what happened? The advancement of technology, science and technology, new branches were included. What are they? Thermodynamics, electric current. So what they added? They added 4 more base quantities. What are they? Initially current in amperes, temperature, Kelvin, amount of substance, mole, and then luminous intensity, candela. All other quantities are derived from these base quantities. If you know the equation of that particular quantity, you can derive it by using those base quantities. Understood? So SI unit system. So unit you need to understand. What is a unit? It is a reference standard, the reference quantity to compare a physical quantity. Okay? Compare, we need to measure it. This is how you are measuring it. So physical quantity means what? A physical quantity, if you are measuring it, you are comparing a reference standard. So 10 times Newton. So force is a physical quantity and 10 is the numerical value or magnitude multiplied with the standard reference. That means force 20 Newton means 20 times you can include 1 Newton in that measurement. So now we will discuss about a measurement. So measurement. So measurement we will discuss in the next video. So just a quick recap so you can understand this topic right now. You don't need to memorize this concept. You understand and only memorize those 7 quantities and its unit as units. Okay, so recap first, what is a physical quantity? A physical quantity is a quantity which can be measurable. There are 2 types of physical quantities are there, base quantities and derived quantities. First you check in the base quantities. What is base quantity? Base quantities are length, mass, time. Initially these 3 were there. Length we will measure in meter, mass we will measure in kilogram, and the time we will measure in seconds. Okay. After that we added 4 more base quantities. What are they? First one electric current, ampere. Second one temperature in Kelvin, and third one amount of substance in mole, and the fourth one is luminous intensity, candela. So these 7 quantities you can memorize. After that, derived section. Derived quantities means what? We will derive all other quantities in physics from this base quantities only. So this base quantities you remember and use the equation to find out a derived quantity, derived unit. Okay, question will be there. What is the derived unit of this one? You need to derive it. Understood? Then what is a unit? Unit is a reference standard, a standard quantity to compare a physical quantity, and a physical quantity is always represented with what? A numerical value, magnitude, and multiplied by the reference standard unit. It's multiplication. You are multiplying it. 10 Newton means 10 times Newton. 10 centimeter means 10 times 1 centimeter. Understood? So this part is clear, right? So you understand it right now. Just finish this topic and make your own note. I won't post the note PDF. You can take note from there. Best notes will be always your note. Okay, you prepare the note. That will be the best note for you. And the questions. Okay, questions I will upload after finishing the physical quantities and measurement complete topics. We have 7 videos for that. So after that only I will upload the topical important PDF. After watching everything, after studying every topic, you try to solve that paper. Then your preparation is done. Then you can start practicing the questions. Okay, past paper questions from this part. Okay, next topic is measurement. Now you know that what is measurement. It's a comparison of a reference standard with a physical quantity. So in that we will discuss what is the measurement, what is the procedure to measure a quantity, what are the errors and uncertainty. All these things we will discuss in the upcoming lectures. Okay, thank you. This is Sanal from Gilbody classes.